Captain Jack Porter stood tall on the bridge of the Earth ship Horizon. His blue uniform was pressed perfect, all medals in place. Today was a big day, the first official meeting with the stellar Concordat, 7 alien species who ruled this part of space. "Sir, we're getting the green light to dock," said Officer Mike, his fingers moving quickly over the controls. Jack nodded. "Take us in. Nice and easy." The Horizon moved slowly toward the massive alien flagship. It looked like a giant silver sea creature, with smooth curves and glowing blue lights. Next to it, the human ship looked like a child's toy. "Remember," Jack told his crew, "we represent all of Earth today. This treaty could mean new technology, new medicines, maybe even new worlds for humans." The diplomatic team, just 5 humans including Jack, entered the alien ship through a long tunnel of shimmering light. The air inside smelled like cinnamon and metal. Their guide was a tall, thin alien named Ral, with skin that changed colors as it moved. "The council waits," Ral said in perfect English. "They are eager to meet the newest spacefaring species." The meeting room was huge, with a ceiling that seemed to show the real stars outside. Around a large round table sat the representatives of the Concordat. Some had too many eyes. Some had no eyes at all. Some looked almost human, which was somehow more strange. The lead alien, who called himself High Speaker Dole, stood up. He was short but had wide shoulders and skin like polished wood. "Welcome, humans," Dole said. "Today marks the beginning of your species' introduction to the wider galaxy." Jack stepped forward with Earth's gift, a simple crystal containing the complete works of human art, music, and literature. "We come in peace and friendship," he said. As Dole reached for the gift, a loud boom shook the room. Alarms began to sound. The lights turned red. "We're under attack," shouted one of the aliens. "Security breach in sections 4 through 7. Jack touched his communicator. "Porter to Horizon. What's happening?" "Unknown ships, sir," came the reply. "They're firing on both the Concordat fleet and us. They don't match any known signature." The doors to the meeting room burst open. 5 creatures rushed in, wearing black armor and carrying weapons that glowed green. Jack recognized their species from the briefings. The Krell, a group that had refused to join the Concordat. "Death to the peace talkers," the lead Krell shouted. Everything happened very fast. The Krell fired their weapons. Green beams of energy cut through the air. 2 alien diplomats fell instantly, their bodies turning to ash. Security guards rushed in, but they were too late. One of the energy beams hit Jack directly in the chest. He felt heat, terrible, burning heat, and his vision went white. His body felt like it was tearing apart and coming back together at the same time. He fell to his knees, expecting to die. But he didn't die. The pain faded. Jack's vision cleared. He looked down at his chest. His uniform was burned away, and his skin was red and blistered, but he was alive. The room had gone completely silent. Every alien, both Concordat members and the attacking Krell, was staring at him. "Impossible," whispered the Krell leader, his weapon falling from his hands. "No living thing survives a direct hit from an energy disruptor." Jack stood up slowly, wincing from the pain of his burns. "Seems like you're wrong about that," he said. The security team took control, capturing the Krell attackers. Medics rushed to help the wounded, but all eyes kept returning to Jack. Dole approached him carefully, as if Jack might explode. "In all our recorded history," he said quietly, "no species has ever survived direct contact with such weapons. The cellular disruption should be total and immediate." Jack shrugged, then regretted it as pain shot through his burned shoulder. "I guess humans are tougher than we look." Dole's expression was unreadable, but Jack could sense both fear and wonder in the alien's voice when he replied, "Indeed, Captain Porter. It seems there is much more to humans than any of us expected." Dr. Lisa Reed pushed her red hair out of her eyes as she looked through the microscope. On the slide was a sample of Jack Porter's skin cells, taken from the area hit by the energy weapon. 3 weeks had passed since the attack, and Jack's burns were almost fully healed. "This is amazing," she said, looking up at Toll, the alien scientist sent by the Concordat to work with her. "His cells are completely normal now." Toll moved closer. He had blue skin and 4 arms, which made him excellent at lab work. "In my species, those cells would be destroyed forever. In all species we know, energy weapons break the very building blocks of life." Lisa nodded. "We need to understand why humans are different." The lab was deep inside Earth's main science center. The walls were white, and machines beeped all around them. Through a window, they could see Jack sitting in a waiting room, looking bored. "Let's try the test," Lisa said. Toll looked nervous. "It could be dangerous." "We'll use the lowest setting," Lisa promised. And Jack has agreed. They called Jack into the testing room. He wore a simple white shirt and pants, like a patient in a hospital. "Ready when you are, Doc," Jack said with a smile. But Lisa could see he was a little scared. Toll adjusted a small weapon on a stand. It was similar to the one that had hit Jack before, but much smaller and less powerful. "We'll start at 1% power," Toll explained. "You will feel heat, but it should not harm you." Jack nodded and stood against a marked wall. "Fire when ready." Toll pressed a button. The thin green beam hit Jack's arm. Jack winced but stayed standing. "How do you feel?" Lisa asked, rushing to check him. "Like a bad sunburn," Jack said. "But I'm okay." Lisa examined his arm. The skin was red but not seriously damaged. She took another sample of cells while Toll recorded everything. "Let's try 5%, she said after a while. They ran more tests, slowly increasing the power. Each time, Jack felt pain but recovered quickly. The most interesting part was watching his cells under the microscope after each test. "Look at this," Lisa said to Toll during their 5th test. "When the energy hits human cells, they somehow spread the energy out instead of absorbing it. It's like they become energy conductors temporarily." Toll's eyes widened. "No other species does this. It should not be possible." They continued working for hours. By the end of the day, they had a theory. Something in human DNA allowed cells to transform energy instead of being destroyed by it. It wasn't perfect protection. Humans could still be burned or injured, but it prevented the instant death that other species experienced. As they finished their notes, a tall man in a military uniform walked into the lab. General Scott had a serious face and walked with heavy steps. "I need your preliminary report," he said without greeting anyone. Lisa frowned. "We've barely started our research. We need more time to be sure about our findings." "The president needs answers now," the general said. "The Concordat is asking questions. Some alien factions are getting nervous about humans having this ability." Toll looked uncomfortable. "My government also wants information. This discovery changes many things in our understanding of warfare." Lisa felt a chill. She hadn't been thinking about war or weapons. She had been excited about the scientific discovery. But now she realized what this could mean. "General," she said carefully, "this ability doesn't make humans invincible. Strong enough energy weapons would still kill us, and this isn't something we can turn into a weapon." General Scott smiled slightly. "Not yet, maybe. But that's why your research is so important, Doctor. If we understand how it works, perhaps we can enhance it." As the general left, Lisa looked at Toll. The alien scientist seemed troubled. "I came here to help understand a scientific mystery," Toll said quietly. "But I fear we may be starting something dangerous." Lisa nodded and looked at the cells through her microscope again. What had started as an exciting discovery now felt like opening a door that perhaps should have stayed closed. Admiral Ben Williams stood by the large window of the space station, looking out at the stars. 6 different alien ships floated nearby, each representing a major power in the galaxy. This emergency meeting had been called just days after news about humans' unique ability had spread. "They're afraid of us now," said Maria, Ben's advisor. She stood beside him, her dark uniform matching his own. "All because we don't die when hit by their favorite weapons." Ben shook his head. "Fear makes people do stupid things. And that's true for aliens too." The meeting room was designed to make all species comfortable. Some chairs were tall, some wide, some filled with special gases. Ben sat in a normal human chair at the large round table as the representatives filed in. First came Zook of the Trian Alliance, with skin like metal and eyes that glowed yellow. Then Pell from the Voss Collective, who looked almost human except for her purple skin. The others followed, some walking, some floating, some moving in ways that hurt Ben's eyes to watch. "This meeting will now begin," announced the neutral mediator, a small green alien named Gore. "We are here to discuss the human situation." "The human threat, you mean?" said Drex, the representative of the Krell Empire. The Krell were the same species that had attacked the first diplomatic meeting. They had officially apologized, calling it a rogue action, but nobody really believed them. "We pose no threat," Ben said calmly. "Earth just wants peaceful relations with all species." Drex made a sound like metal scraping on stone, a Krell laugh. "You are immune to our most effective weapons. That makes you dangerous by default." "Not immune," Ben corrected. "We can still be hurt or killed. We just don't die instantly like other species." The debate went on for hours. Some species wanted to form alliances with humans. The Voss offered to trade medical technology for human protection. The Trian suggested joint military exercises, but others were clearly afraid. The Krell openly suggested that humans should be contained on Earth until they could be properly studied. 2 other species supported this idea. During a break, Ben received an urgent message from Earth. He stepped into a private room to take the call. "Admiral, we have a problem," said General Scott's voice. "Our intelligence reports show unusual movement in Krell space. They're gathering ships near their border with us." "They're planning something," Ben said, feeling a cold weight in his stomach. "There's more," the general continued. "We've received reports of humans being kidnapped from our outer colonies. 3 confirmed cases so far." "What? Why?" "The black markets, sir. There's a bounty being offered for live human specimens. Some groups want to run their own tests on us." Ben closed his eyes for a moment. Things were moving too fast. Just weeks ago, humans had been the new, unimportant species. Now they were seen as either valuable allies or dangerous threats. When he returned to the meeting, Ben spoke with new urgency. "Let me be clear," he told the gathered representatives. "Earth wants peace, but we will defend our people. The kidnapping of humans must stop immediately." "Kidnapping?" asked Pell, looking genuinely surprised. "What kidnapping?" "Someone is taking humans from our colonies," Ben explained. "For experiments, we believe." Several representatives looked uncomfortable. Drex, however, showed no reaction. "This is exactly why some feel threatened," Drex said smoothly. "Humans talk of peace while making accusations." As the arguments continued, Ben noticed Pell slip him a small data device under the table. He took it carefully, hiding his surprise. Later, in his private quarters, Ben viewed the contents. It was a security recording showing Krell ships attacking a small human outpost. The timestamp was just 3 days ago. "They're not waiting for diplomacy," Maria said, watching over his shoulder. "They're already moving against us." Ben's face hardened. "Send this to Earth immediately, and prepare our ships. We're not looking for a fight, but we need to be ready if one comes to us." As he looked back at the recording, Ben wondered how quickly humanity's first steps into the galactic community had turned into what felt like the beginning of a war. Flight Officer Mark Jones checked his emergency pack again. 3 days of food, a water filter, a small medical kit, and his service pistol with 2 spare clips. Not much to survive on an alien planet, but it was all he had. His ship, A small Earth scout vessel had been attacked while mapping this sector. The Krell had come out of nowhere. Mark had managed to reach an escape pod just before his ship exploded. Now he was stranded on this frontier world, a planet with breathable air but unknown dangers. Keep moving, he told himself, looking up at the strange purple sky. Help won't find you if you stay still. The landscape reminded him of Earth's deserts, with red rocks and little plant life. His emergency beacon was working, but it might take days for a rescue ship to reach him, if they could come at all with Krell ships patrolling the area. As Mark climbed over a ridge, he froze. Below him was a small alien settlement, just 5 or 6 buildings made of some shiny material. He pulled out his binoculars to look closer. Krell, he whispered, spotting 2 of the armored aliens moving between buildings. Just my luck. He was about to back away when he heard a sound behind him. Mark spun around, reaching for his gun, but was too slow. Something hard hit the side of his head, and everything went black. Mark woke up in a small cave. His head hurt badly, and someone had tied his hands. "The human is awake," said a voice in broken English. Mark blinked until his vision cleared. Sitting across from him was a strange creature. It was shorter than a human, with reddish skin and large green eyes. It wore simple clothing that looked handmade. "Who are you?" Mark asked. "What do you want with me?" "I am Vix," the alien said. "I save you from Krell. They hunt humans now. You saved me by hitting me on the head and tying me up." Mark asked, raising an eyebrow. Vix made a chirping sound that might have been a laugh. "You were going to make noise. Krell have good ears. Had to knock you out. Sorry." The alien came closer and untied Mark's hands. "You are valuable now. Krell pay much for live humans." "Great," Mark said, rubbing his wrists. "I'm a commodity now." "What is commodity?" Vix asked, struggling with the word. "Something to be bought and sold," Mark explained. "Like I'm not a person, just a thing." Vix nodded. "Yes, since humans survive energy weapons, many want to study you. My people, the Nix, hear things. Krell offer big reward for humans." Mark stood up carefully, checking that all his equipment was still there. It was. "Why did you save me then? Why not collect the reward?" Vix's large eyes blinked slowly. "Krell enslave my people. Take our world. Make us work in mines. I hate Krell. If humans fight Krell, maybe help my people too." Before Mark could respond, they heard a loud sound from outside the cave. Engines, getting closer. "Krell hunters," Vix said, suddenly afraid. "They track your pod. Now track you. We must run." They slipped out a back entrance to the cave, just as a small Krell ship landed nearby. Mark glimpsed 4 armed Krell warriors jumping out and beginning to search the area. "This way," Vix whispered, leading Mark down a narrow path between rocks. They ran for nearly an hour, moving deeper into the rocky landscape. Finally, they stopped in a hidden valley where a small stream provided water. "We safe for now," Vix said, "but they will keep looking." Mark took a drink from the stream. "What's the plan?" "I need to contact my people." Vix pointed to a distant mountain range. "Old communication tower there. From before Krell came. Maybe still works. 3 days walk." "Then that's where we're going," Mark said. He looked at his new alien companion. "Why are you really helping me, Vix?" The alien was quiet for a moment. "Stories say humans different. Not like other big space people who only care about themselves. Humans help others." Vix looked directly at Mark. "Is true." Mark thought about it. "We try to be. We're not perfect, but we try." "Good," Vix said. "Because my people need help. And if humans really are special, if you really cannot be killed by Krell weapons, maybe you are the help we have waited for." Mark nodded slowly, feeling the weight of those words. He was just one stranded pilot, but somehow he had become a symbol of hope for an enslaved species, and his best chance of survival was to live up to that hope. Kate Wilson adjusted her safety goggles and looked at the strange device on the table. It was about the size of a small backpack, with wires connecting to a chest plate. This was her 15th prototype, and she hoped it would finally work. "Ready for the test?" asked her assistant, Tom Baker. He was checking the readings on his tablet. Kate nodded. "Let's do it." They were in a special testing room deep under the Earth Defense Headquarters. The walls were made of thick metal that could absorb energy blasts. At one end stood a dummy wearing the chest plate. At the other was a captured Krell energy weapon mounted on a stand. "Energy weapon powering up," Tom said, pressing buttons on a control panel. "Firing in 3, 2, 1. The weapon fired. A green beam hit the dummy's chest plate. Instead of burning through it, something amazing happened. The energy seemed to gather in the chest plate, then shot back along the same path. The return beam hit the wall next to the weapon, leaving a black scorch mark. "It worked," Kate shouted, jumping up. The human energy reflector actually worked. Tom was already checking the readings. 87% energy return. "That's our best result yet." Kate walked over to examine the chest plate. It was warm but undamaged. The device attached to it hummed softly. "We've done it, Tom," she said. "We've found a way to take humanity's natural resistance to energy weapons and turn it into active protection." The device worked by amplifying the unique way human cells processed energy. When hit by an energy weapon, the reflector would capture the energy, run it through a special circuit based on human cellular patterns, and redirect it back toward the attacker. A door opened, and General Scott walked in with several military officers. "Impressive demonstration, Dr. Wilson," he said, looking at the scorch mark on the wall. "How soon can we put these into production?" "We need more tests," Kate replied, "and we need to make them smaller and lighter. But maybe 2 months for the first batch." The general nodded. "Fast track it. The situation with the Krell is getting worse. We need every advantage we can get." After the military officials left, Kate sat down heavily in her chair. She should have felt happy. Her invention could save many human lives if war broke out, but something didn't feel right. "What's wrong?" Tom asked, sitting beside her. "This is what we've been working toward for months." "I know," Kate said, "but I became a military engineer to create defenses, not weapons. This device doesn't just protect the user, it sends the energy back to kill whoever fired it." Tom was quiet for a moment. "It's still better than what the Krell are doing. Have you seen the reports from the outer colonies? They're attacking civilian targets now." Kate nodded sadly. "I know. That's why I'll keep working on this. I just wish there was another way." Later that night, Kate couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about her invention and what it meant. Humans had accidentally discovered they had a natural defense against energy weapons. Now she had turned that defense into something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. While she was lost in thought, her communication device beeped. It was Tom. "Kate, I need to tell you something important," he said in a low voice. "I can't talk over this channel. Can you meet me at the lab?" 20 minutes later, Kate found Tom in their lab. He looked nervous. "What's going on?" she asked. Tom showed her his tablet. On it were designs for a simplified version of their reflector device. "I've been sharing our research with the Voss." "What?" Kate was shocked. "That's treason. Why would you do that?" "Because the Voss aren't like the Krell," Tom explained. "They're peaceful, but they're being threatened too. If war comes, they'll be targets just like us." Kate stared at him. "So you gave them our technology?" "Without permission. I gave them a version that only provides protection, not the reflection capability," Tom said. "They have a right to defend themselves too, Kate." Kate didn't know what to say. Part of her was angry at Tom's betrayal, but another part understood his reasoning. The weapon she had created was powerful, maybe too powerful for any one species to control. "What do we do now?" she asked quietly. "I don't know," Tom admitted. But I think we need to consider who else might need this technology before it's too late. Captain Jack Porter stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Defender *. Red alert warnings flashed on every screen. The ship shook as another energy blast hit their shields. "Shields at 40%, shouted the tactical officer. Jack gripped the command chair tightly. "Return fire. All batteries." Outside the view screen, space was filled with ships. The Krell had launched their attack without warning, hitting 3 human colonies at once. Now their main fleet was approaching Earth itself. "Sir," called the communications officer, "Admiral Williams is requesting to speak with you." Jack nodded, and Admiral Ben Williams appeared on the main screen. He looked tired but determined. "Jack, we're deploying the new reflector technology," the Admiral said. "All ships will receive equipment within the hour. Your ship is first." "The Wilson devices are ready?" Jack asked, surprised. "I thought they were still in testing." "We don't have time for more tests," the Admiral replied grimly. "The Krell brought everything they have. This is the largest fleet ever seen in this part of the galaxy." A crew member approached Jack, carrying a box of chest plates with small devices attached to them. "The reflectors, sir." Jack ended his call with the Admiral and examined one of the devices. It looked just like the chest armor troops normally wore, but with a strange addition that hummed with power. "All bridge crew, put these on now," Jack ordered. "Then distribute them to the rest of the ship." As Jack fitted the device over his uniform, he remembered the first time he'd been hit by an energy weapon during the diplomatic meeting. That had started all of this. Now, months later, humanity was fighting for its survival. "Sir, 6 Krell destroyers are moving into attack position," reported the tactical officer, now wearing his own reflector. "Hold position," Jack ordered. "Let's see what these devices can do." The Krell ships opened fire. Multiple energy beams struck the Defender *. The ship shook violently, and several systems went offline. But then something amazing happened. The crew members wearing reflectors who were hit directly by energy that penetrated the ship's hull didn't fall. Instead, the energy seemed to gather around them for a split second, then shoot back along the same path it had come. On the view screen, Jack watched as the returned energy hit one of the Krell ships, burning a hole straight through its hull. "It works," he whispered, then louder. "It works. All ships, focus fire on the lead destroyer. Use the reflectors to send their own energy back at them." The battle quickly changed. The Krell, used to their energy weapons being instantly deadly, were confused when humans not only survived but reflected the attacks back. Their precise formations broke apart as ships tried to avoid their own reflected fire. "Sir," called the tactical officer, "we're receiving transmissions from the Voss fleet. They're engaging Krell forces near Mars colony." "The Voss?" Jack was surprised. "I thought they were staying neutral." "They're using reflector technology too," the officer added, sounding confused. "Different design, but the same principle." Jack remembered Dr. Kate Wilson mentioning something about her assistant sharing the technology. At the time, Earth Command had been furious. Now, it might save them all. For 2 hours, the battle raged across the solar system. Slowly, the tide turned. The Krell, facing technology they didn't understand and couldn't counter, began to retreat. "They're pulling back," Jack announced to his tired crew. "All ships, hold positions. Don't pursue." As the Krell fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed, leaving Earth space, a cheer went up across the ship. They had won their first major battle against a superior force. Jack sat down heavily in his command chair. They had survived today, but the war was just beginning, and humanity had revealed its greatest advantage: the ability to turn the enemy's weapons against them. On the main screen, Admiral Williams appeared again. "Good work, Captain. But this isn't over. The Krell will be back, and next time they won't rely on energy weapons." "What's our next move, sir?" Jack asked. The Admiral's face was serious. Diplomacy, believe it or not, the Voss aren't the only ones who want to ally with us now. Half the galaxy has seen what happened today. We need to use this victory to build something that lasts. Jack nodded. From first contact to invasion in just a few months. And now humanity, the newcomers to galactic society, were suddenly a major power. All because of one strange quirk of human biology that no one had known about until an assassin failed to kill him on that first day. Anna Green straightened her formal blue diplomatic uniform and took a deep breath. The large meeting hall was filled with representatives from 27 different species. As Earth's lead diplomat, she carried the future of humanity on her shoulders today. The Council of Galactic Species will now begin, announced the mediator, a tall, willowy alien named Lore. Earth's representative may speak first. Anna walked to the center of the circular room. All eyes, some with multiple pupils, some glowing, some barely visible, watched her closely. 3 months ago, she began, the Krell Empire attacked Earth and our colonies without warning. They believed our natural resistance to energy weapons made us too dangerous to exist. They were wrong. Images appeared on the large screens around the room. The Battle of Earth, the destroyed Krell ships, the human colonies that had been damaged. Humanity defended itself using technology that reflected the Krell's own weapons back at them. We did not seek this war, but we ended it. The Krell representative, not Drex, but a new diplomat named Vorn, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The Krell have signed a peace agreement, Anna continued. But peace between just 2 species is not enough. Today, we propose something more, a new galactic alliance based on mutual protection and technology sharing. Murmurs filled the room. This was much more than anyone had expected. Earth will share the reflector technology with all peaceful species, Anna said. In return, we ask for fair trade, access to faster-than-light technology, and recognition of human territory. The debate that followed lasted for hours. Some species immediately supported the proposal. The Voss, who had fought alongside humans, were the first to agree. Others were more cautious, asking detailed questions about how such an alliance would work. The Krell and their allies argued against it. This human technology upsets the balance of power, Vorn insisted. They are using one victory to take control of galactic politics. We seek balance, not control, Anna responded calmly. For too long, species with energy weapons have dominated those without them. The reflector technology levels the field. As the formal meeting ended, many representatives approached Anna to continue discussions privately. Most seemed positive, but she could tell some were still afraid of humans. Later that evening, Anna met with a small group of the most powerful species representatives in a private room. Captain Jack Porter and Admiral Ben Williams joined her, as did Dr. Lisa Reed and Kate Wilson, the creators of the reflector technology. I'll be direct, Anna said once the doors were closed. Humanity has a secret that you all need to know. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Lisa stepped forward. The reflector technology works well now, but it's not perfect. Our research shows that with enough power and the right frequency adjustments, energy weapons could still overcome it. Why tell us this? Asked the Voss representative. This information could be used against you. Because we don't want an arms race, Kate explained. We don't want everyone trying to build bigger, more powerful weapons to overcome our defenses. Admiral Williams nodded. Humanity doesn't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to live in it peacefully. What we're proposing, Anna continued, is that instead of fighting over who has the most powerful weapons, we work together on problems that affect all species: exploration, resource shortages, environmental protection of habitable worlds. Jack smiled slightly. We humans have a saying: a rising tide lifts all ships. We believe that cooperation will benefit everyone more than competition. There was silence as the alien representatives considered this. Then, one by one, They began to nod or make their species equivalent gestures of agreement. "This is unexpected," said the Trian representative. "Most new species try to gain as much power as possible as quickly as possible. Perhaps that's why we survived the energy weapons in the first place," Lisa suggested. "We're different. Not better, just different." As the meeting concluded, Anna felt a weight lift from her shoulders. There would be more negotiations, more details to work out. But the foundation was laid for something new in galactic politics, a system where power wasn't everything. Outside the window, Earth shone blue and beautiful against the blackness of space. Humanity had nearly lost everything, but instead found its place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as neighbors. Different, unique, and finally accepted.